Magwanani akanaka. Shona.
Magwanani akanaka.
Very impressed.
Sawubona. Dumela. Kuyamore. Namaste. Afsheni. Good morning. I am truly honored to be your Toastmaster this morning. I hope you're going to hold on your seat belts because we're going to have a meeting that is going to be exciting and fun. Good start, isn't it? Welcome to our 104th meeting of the Bryanston Breakfast Club today. Our theme for today is commitment. What is commitment? A state or quality of being dedicated to cause and activity. Commitment is the experience of being psychologically attached to something and intending to continue. To commit is to fully dedicate yourself to something. Commitment is a foundation of great accomplishment. With commitment, Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. With commitment, we enjoy the athletes from all over the world coming together every 2 years to show both their physical and mental stamina at their highest level. With commitment, the Fishers couple from Carolina, broke the Guinness World Record for the longest marriage of 87 years. With commitment, the previous committees made the club to get to 104th meeting today. Commitment is exhibited by those that take up leadership roles without remuneration to ensure smooth running of the club, encourage the society to become members of the club, mentor them to become better versions of themselves, like these, as demonstrated here today. I would like to introduce the various roles players today. That glue, which keeps the glue that keeps the program together. Master Evaluation Chair is Rick. Will you please explain your role?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My role today is to chair the Evaluation Committee, which will meet in the break to discuss the evaluations prior to the individual evaluations being given. And then, when we deliver our evaluations, I will introduce the evaluators. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Madam Timekeeper, Snazi, will you please explain your role?
Yes, thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My role today is that of a timekeeper, which basically means that I will be timing all the speakers, the prepared speakers, the evaluators, as well as the table topics. So how it basically works, for today we've got 4 to 6 minutes on the prepared speakers and 5 to 7 minutes. So on the 4 minutes, I'll show the green light. 5 minutes, orange, red at 6 minutes, which means it's time for you to finish up your speech. And then on the evaluators, you've got 2 to 3 minutes. So it will be the same thing, green light at 2, amber at 2.5, and then in 3 minutes you should be wrapping up. And then for table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes. So it's 1 minute, green light, 1.5 minutes, amber, and the red lights at 2. So I encourage all the table topics as well to try to speak up until you get to the green light. And then I'll give my report once called upon to do so. Thank you. Madam Toastmaster.
We do not have the table topics today.
Oh, don't you?
Sorry. Tanya, will you please explain your role as a grammarian and accountant?
So the role as the grammarian is to look out for particular interesting use of the English language and make note of that. But probably more importantly is to introduce the word of the day. So this role got pounced on me seconds ago, feels like. But Lynn whipped out, she's so overprepared, she whipped out the word of the day she just happened to have on standby. And the word of the day is to assimilate. It means to understand and remember new information fully. There are examples here which I tried to assimilate, but in the short time was not able to do that, so I'm going to read them to you. Examples of the use of the word assimilate. It's hard to assimilate so much information. Another is, students need to assimilate new concepts. A synonym for the word assimilate is learn. Dino, do you mind, if I had to read it, do you mind sticking it up over there for me? That is the grammarian. And then the other role that I am fulfilling is that of the AHA counter. Thank you, Dina. The AHA counter, responsibility of the AHA counter is to look out for what is loosely called crutch words or fillers. These are words that probably more than likely detract from the full impact of your public speaking. Ums, ahs, you knows, so's, ands, buts. The other type of word is a word that a particular speaker might use inappropriately too often, and I'll try and make note of that as well and then give feedback towards the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Ene, may you please explain your role as a second?
Good day. My role as Sergeant of Arms is to help arrange the room, help all the speakers with all your speeches, as well as to determine your lectern and room requirements. It's also my role to call you to order.
Thank you, Adrianette Beck, for managing registration for us. We have 4 members that will be presenting their prepared speeches today. It's Nandi, Adrian, Mandy, and Tanya. 2 speeches will be from the pathways and the 2 speeches will be from the CCs. The 3rd speaker requested that we should be in possession of a pen. We will all have pens. Workable pens. I have extra pen. Is there anyone without the pen?
It looks like they don't have papers.
All right, let us move to the exciting part of this meeting, which is the prepared speech. Our first speaker for today is Nandi. Nandi will be presenting her pathways icebreaker. Nandi is a mother, an entrepreneur, a risk taker, an introvert. And her first calling is being a mother. And the second calling is solution provider. She joined Toastmasters in May 2019. Her evaluator is Dino. Dino, will you please explain to us her project?
Thank you, Toastmaster. The purpose of today's Nandi's speech is its very first speech in front of the club, and it's pretty much to understand what skills that she does have hiding underneath that beautiful pink jacket of hers. So, best of luck.
Thank you, Dino. I would like to hear some energies, as I call the speakers to the front. All of them, consistently. Not the first one and the last. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Nandi with her speech titled Effective Management. Effective Management, Nandi.
According to the Guinness World Records, as of 1995. The Bible is the best-selling book of all times. And according to this book, it says, God did not allow anything to grow on earth until there was a man to cultivate the land. That is, until there was a manager to manage the land. Good morning. My name is Nandi Mwabe. I'm originally from KwaZulu-Natal, but I have been in Johannesburg for over 10 years now. I'm the middle child. I've got an older sister who's still in KZN and a brother. I live with my 9-year-old daughter, and every day life is a blessing. Why am I at Toastmasters? I've always had a passion and a love for public speaking, but for some reason I had never taken a definite step to actually do something about it. Up until recently, I read a book by Douglas Kruger. He talks about how he has the ability to influence men and women of great stature with master's degrees and PhDs. Yet he himself, he did not possess none of those qualifications. He explains in the first few chapters of the book how he actually gained those skills, how he sharpened his communication skills, public speaking skills, and leadership skills. And he says he joined Toastmasters at a very young age. Now that made me come to Toastmasters. Effective management. What is effective management? Dr. Miles Monroe explains it this way. Effective management is the effective, efficient, correct, and timely use of another person's property or resources for the purposes of which they are delegated, with a view of adding extra benefit back to the person. Please allow me to repeat that. I enjoyed it, even if it's very Effective management is the effective, efficient, correct, and timely use of another person's property or resource for the purposes of which they were delegated, with the view of adding an extra benefit back to the person. The primary responsibility of all man is to manage resources. We all have resources to manage, of course at different levels. We have to manage our time. We have to manage our money. We have to manage our families. All of those are resources that we are given to manage. Resources are attracted to good and effective managers. What are characteristics of a good, effective manager? Commitment, diligence, honesty, trustworthiness, amongst others. Fellow Toastmasters, what have you been entrusted with to manage? Remember this, whatsoever we do not manage effectively, we will eventually lose.
Thank you, Nadine. I always thought that we don't have to manage ourselves, just leave. Thank you for sharing with us the idea. We're going to try to start managing all the areas that you've mentioned here. Our second speaker is Adrian. Adrian has been a member of Bryanston Breakfast Club for about 18 months. And he has recently completed his CC10. He is the current treasurer of our club. He has now elected to follow the innovative planning pathways in terms of the pathways curriculum. I would like to ask Judith to share with us Adrian's project, please.
Yes. Adrian's project, the purpose of this project is for him to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Adrian with his speech titled, What's Next? What's Next, Adrian?
Well, what now? Now, I'm in my 70s. Now, one of the things about being in your 70s, you get your senior moments. And, you know, I forget things. Like tonight, or this morning, I had all my notes all ready, and then I got up late, grabbed everything, and realised I haven't got my notes there. But don't worry, don't worry. I'll think of something to say. Now, I've got a very good friend in this club called Yoen. He's also in his 70s. And he's a good friend of mine, a good drinking partner. We get together on a regular basis. And he was the one that persuaded me that if you do have these senior moments, then it's a good idea. Why don't you join Toastmasters, and then you can reverse the process of forgetfulness and all that kind of stuff. So that's the reason why I joined. So one of the things you ask yourself when you getting in your senior years is, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Do I make a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 20-year plan? So I decided if I had to make a plan, I need to know how long I'm going to live for. And there is an answer to that. If you go to the internet, and if you look up a site called Blue Zones, you'll have the answer. And they actually give you a test so you can work out how long you're going to live for to 0.1 of a year, I believe. So I took this test, and it told me that I was going to live to 87.7 years. But that wasn't a real surprise for me. My mother lived till she was 93, and my father lived to 95. But what this program also told me, that if I change my lifestyle, stop that drinking with all the fellows at the Douglas Diary Tunnel, and cut down my social life a little bit there, that I could live to 98.1 years. Whoa! So, where do I start? What am I going to do? And I thought, let's break it up into, first of all, family life. So let me talk about family life. I was very blessed to have parents who never gave up on me, even though I failed every academic exam I took until the age of 13. And then I was inspired by a couple of teachers that gave me a passion for mathematics and physics. And from then onwards, I thought, oh, this is great, I enjoy doing this. And I went to university, did my BSc and majored in physics and mathematics, and then I stayed on to do a PhD to study something you'd be all very interested in, Ebikosov vortices in type 2 superconductors. Well, that's all very well, but you know, I prefer things a little bit more practical. And my first job when I came out to South Africa in 1970 was to join the Chamber of Mines Research Organisation. Things went well there. In fact, my life went reasonably well there. I was able to earn money and travel overseas, go on cruises, because I was a bachelor at the time, but I did get married. And I did have children, 2 boys, and things went well in my life, very well in my life, for about 30 years. And then I think a lot of us have our moments when life is not so great. And I reached a stage where I found myself getting divorced. I found myself having major back surgery. I was finding myself losing a son who took a euthanasia route out because of cancer. I lost my sister as well to cancer. But all came right a few months, well, a few years later, and I remarried again. I got a lovely wife. Been married for 8 years now. And she has kids and her family living in Phuket and Hong Kong. They're all coming out this afternoon, so wow. And so life isn't too bad for me at this particular point in time. The things that I want to do in the future, I really love sort of doing training and mentoring of graduates in minerals processing. And one of the things I want to do is get all that material I've got together there to put something online on the Udemy. Does anybody know about the Udemy site?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, because I'm absolutely hopeless, not very savvy on that side of things. So I have some good contacts there. And then the other thing, I have a great interest in the integration of science and spirituality there. And I'm reading a book at the moment called, and it's written by a couple of guys, a scientist, a physicist, and Deepak Chopra, who I guess one's a theoretical physicist, and the other one you would probably describe as a spiritual guru. So that's the sort of thing I love to do. One of the things I want to do before I die at the age of 98.1 is to write my memoirs. This is something that my father never did, and also there are a lot of things I got to learn. One of the things, you know, having a family, you know, you do get your bad moments as well. So I want to be loving and kind, and those are the things I need to learn. And it's great being here and talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adrian, for sharing your life story. I'm looking forward to be 70. It sounds exciting to be senior. Our next speaker is Mandy. Mandy is a busy lady. She has committed by taking on the role of VEP in our club. Mandy is racing through the CC speeches so she can get started with the pathway speeches. And the evaluator for Mandy is Lucinda. Lucinda, will you please tell us about Mandy's project?
Thank you, Toastmaster. Mandy's project is her CC8. It is now her second last before she gets a CC10, which is going to be the momentous occasion most Toastmasters wait for. As I always say in a room, even though I'm the evaluator, you are all going to evaluate today because they're pieces of paper and you're going to vote for the best speaker. So it's important for you to know what I see and what I'm also evaluating on so that you can make a fair evaluation. Has she met the criteria that's set for her? On this particular assignment, what's important is that she's chosen a subject that allows the use of a visual aid. It's nice and dark in here now. And story night. Select a visual aid that is appropriate for the message of the audience and display the visual aid correctly and with ease and confidence. That is what is to look out for. Please do not look and try and judge what's happening on the screen. You must keep it to the speech, which is Mandy's speech, which she's presenting to the club today. Good luck, Mandy. I look forward to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mandy with her speech titled Memory Hacks. Memory Hacks, Mandy.
Oh, very good.
5 to 7.
Yeah. Thanks, Honey. I'll wait for you to sit before I start. Madam Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. By a show of hands, how many people forget their password? Gmail, Facebook?
All the time.
Misplacing or losing your keys, glasses, wallet, forgetting your notes at home. This morning's presentation is on memory hacks. It's a collection I have been collecting over the last couple of years, and hopefully this will help Adrian next time to remember his name. Research says that we do not have a good or bad memory. We only have a trained or untrained memory. A memory is not something you have. It's a process. Good news, it's something you can grow. Let's start with passwords. Most sites will ask you for 8 letters, a mix between letters and numbers. And it's never a good idea to use the same password. This opens you up to being hacked. People can get into your personal details and your banking details. So yeah, you have to change the password. I wish that I had known this many years ago when technology came out, because now I've got something like even 7 passwords that I can never, ever remember. When you forget your Gmail password, however, it's very hard to get back. So the best thing to do is to choose a base password. This would be something, a word that you resonate with, something you connect with, something that's easy to remember. Somebody like me loves coffee. We can use the capital C for coffee, and then to link it to a number. Favorite number, anniversary, 24, that's my birthday. For those of you who want to hack my bank account, that's not really my password. Let's say we want to connect to Facebook. Join Facebook, we would use our base password, being coffee, and then add FB to connect it to Facebook, and our 24. So we still keep our base password. Pinterest, we would use coffee, pin, and our 24. Gmail, coffee, mail, 24. Some of these sites ask you for a special character, or perhaps 12 letters and numbers long. In this case, you would keep your base password, coffee, and instead of the A, we would use the @ sign, or instead of the I, we would use an exclamation mark. Remembering a name. How many times do we meet a person and instantly forget their name? Or as the person's walking towards us, we're like, oh my goodness, what's that person's name? Some of the hacks we can try is repeat the name 3 times in conversation. Hi, Bill. Nice to meet you. What do you do for a living, Bill? Bill, meet my friend Annika. Something else we can do is link the name to someone or something we know. If we meet Mary, we can link it to Mary had a little lamb. If we're meeting John, we can link it to John F. Kennedy. One of the other things you can do is connect the name to visual imagery. Here's Jane. We are associating Jane with chain, we're rhyming. Jane has got beautiful hair. So here we would imagine a chain being wrapped around Jane's hair. The more visual your image, the more you are going to recall the name. Misplacing your possessions. Research says that when we yawn, we release stress. The brain gets more oxygen to it, and we are now better able to focus. Before you put your possession down, yawn. The next is to really see the object of what you are putting your possession onto. So if we would like to place our car keys on a table, coffee table, we would really see the coffee table. So see your keys on the coffee table. The last one, say it out loud. I have put my keys on the coffee table. So that when you're looking for it, your wife or husband says, you said you put it on the coffee table. They say it's all in the hands. Clenching your right fist is for memory formation. Clenching your left fist is for memory recall. For those of you who are left-handed, you would swap hands. So if you need to remember to do something, such as I need to call Harold at 4 o'clock this afternoon to remind him to bring the computer, I would be clenching my right hand. I need to phone Harold at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Throughout the day when I'm thinking, oh, I'm sure there's something I needed to do today, I would clench my left hand and the memory would be recalled. I'd like to try a practical exercise now. Please pick up your pens. Workable. They say there's a power of 3. I want you to take your hand like this and take your pen. Remember something you need to do today. And as you take your pen, I'd like you to draw a dot on your hand and say the thing in your mind that you need to remember today. My time's running out. Pen, please. On your hand, draw a dot, and while you're drawing the dot in your mind, say the thing that you need to remember. Right, I need you to do that again. Draw over that dot, and in your mind, say what you need to remember. Again. And for the last time, the power of 3, say it again in your mind, and re-go over that circle. Every time you look at that dot today, you will know exactly what you need to remember. Brain games. As I mentioned earlier, a memory, you don't have a good and a bad memory. You have a trained and an untrained memory. Brain games are fantastic food for your brain. They are free and downloadable on your apps, your iPhones, your iPads. I have downloaded these 3, Evaluate, Fit, Brain and Peak. I play them every day. Here you are going to be able to enhance your memory. Remember, a memory is something you have. It's a process. So this is something you can grow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mandy. Mandy, we will yawn. Mandy, the power of 3. I'm not going to forget that. Thank you so much. Our 4th speaker is Tanya. Tanya has completely immersed herself in Toastmasters and have reaped the benefits. She is an avid reader, driven estate agent and ambitious. Toastmaster, she's an ambitious Toastmaster with Saturday speech being the final requirement in achieving a triple crown. She is the incoming VPE at Rivonia Toastmasters, and the evaluator today is Rick. Rick, may you please share with us Tanya's project?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I believe that I'm not in fact going to give an evaluation of Tanya's speech. It's, as you've mentioned, the conclusion to the Competent Leader Program, and we'll be looking forward to her telling us about that path, that growth path. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
We like to clap. We're gonna clap again. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Tanya with her speech titled My Year of Yes. My Year of Yes, Tanya. Let's clap.
Would you believe it if I told you that last year this time, I was a very, very unfriendly, unapproachable, miserable person. I really was. And I decided, I said to myself, life's got to change. Something's got to change. I don't want to be this unapproachable person anymore. I want to be someone different. And I thought, let's do something different. I changed my mindset and I decided I am going to say yes. To anything that comes my way, I'm just going to take the leap and I'm going to say yes. And today, I am a completely different person because I have embraced the power of yes. If someone phones, well, our president of Rivonia Club, Liz, she does this very often. She phones me a day before, even on the day, and she says to me, Gib is having a meeting, they need a speaker. Are you speaking? And? Yes. Yes. I go and do that. And because I say yes, I'm a completely different person. I'm happy. I'm content with life. I'm excited to get up in the morning. I'm like, what is today going to bring? I don't know, but whatever it brings, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to be open for it. I am going to say yes. Let's do it. I might not enjoy it, but that's all right. At least I have said yes. It used to be very difficult for me to understand simple things because I was not open to it. And now I can assimilate easily to anything that comes my way. I can understand someone else's point of view because I'm open to their point of view. I'm not just saying, no, I don't understand. Because I'm going, let me understand you. I want to understand you. Yes, let's communicate. The power of yes has empowered me to live up to my full potential. And in it being with Toastmasters, I joined Toastmasters. I wanted to socialize a bit. I wanted to get out. And again, our president Liz said to me, you know what? There's educational awards. Why don't you go for it? Again, I said, yes, let me do it. And here I am today. I'm excited for life. I'm content with life. My butterflies used to be everywhere, going crazy, and I didn't know what to do with them. And now they all are information, almost feeling a bit more like fireworks now when something happens new, when something new happens. I just want to say yes for everything. There also comes a time where you might have to say, whoa, 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 not yet. I had someone ask me the other day, let's go bungee jumping. Yes, but let's look at it next year. At least I said yes, I'm open to it, but I'm not ready to do it yet. At the end of the day, it comes down to also immersing yourself into what you're doing. It's saying yes, but you have to really say full yes. I am really going to do this to my full potential. Again, this is what I've done with Toastmasters. And in doing so, I have found out exactly what my leadership style is, which happens to be coaching. And in finding that out, I've also really found out who I am. It's easier for me to navigate my life now. I can say yes to opportunities that's going to fuel my end goal, simply because I've allowed it. I've opened my mind up, I've expanded my horizons, and I've decided I'm going to do what I want to do and really be me, without fearing that I might have missed something out because I'm open to anything. My year of yes has been eye-opening. It has been such a relief. You know when you feel like you carry the weight on your shoulders? And I feel that since saying yes, I have just dropped that off completely. I've had people comment that I don't see very often, but if I see them again, they say to me, oh my word, I can't believe it, you're glowing. I'm like, well, thank you. It's because I say yes. I'm embracing life, I'm open to it. I don't plan my day like I used to anymore. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what is today going to bring me? My year of yes has been exciting, and I will continue my year of yes. And continue it and keep on saying yes to anything and everything, because there's always a new skill to learn. There's always another aspect of me that I can find out about, and I can do that by saying yes. Madam Toastmaster.
opportunities that is going to fuel your life. I would like us to give them another hand of applause. Snazi, can you please give us the time report?
Yes, sure, Madam Toastmaster. I'll start off with Harold, the outgoing president address. 10 minutes and it took 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Nandi, your speech was 4 to 6 minutes and your actual duration was 3 minutes and 38 seconds. So you're under there by 22 seconds. Adrian, you had 4 to 6 minutes and it took 6 minutes and 26 seconds. So over the 26 seconds. Mandy, your speech was 5 to 7 minutes and your actual duration was 6 minutes 55 seconds. And then Tanya also had 5 to 7 and your time was 5 minutes 27 seconds. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, may you please vote for the best speaker. We are going to we're going to use this because we don't have the usual label paper, so I will bring out the our first speaker was Nandi, and his speech was effective management. The second speaker was Adrian, his speech was what's next. Our third speaker was Nandi, and his speech was memory hack. And our fourth speaker was Tanya, her speech was my year of yes. Please write your first, second, and third speaker. Anne will come around to collect and she will collect the results. Congratulations to you for getting out of bed today, brushing your teeth, and for coming to the meeting. Although we do this automatically, it is a simple commitment. Unlike big commitments that requires more thoughts like, should I marry him, should I marry her? According to Gallup Poll's results on job satisfaction, they say that 13% of employees are psychologically engaged and are excited going to work. 24% of employees are disengaged. They dislike their job and are actively working against the vision of the organization. So you can think of someone. 63% are not engaged but are committed to wake up, go to work, and go through the motions, and accidentally get promoted. When we get to the choice point, you can decide to commit or to be on a sliding point. Commitment is not just a word, it's a process, and it requires a plan. Unexpected pregnancy will make you and your partner slide for 9 months. Raising the child will require a commitment and a long-term plan, not an obligation. We are going to have a 15-minute recess. Thank you.
See you later. What's the point is here? Hands.
Then gave a lot of time there with it.
Which you didn't make use of.
make use of.
Yes.
Not now, not now. Wait, wait.
Right guys, Adrian. Right guys.
And rhinestone you're going to get some good production. I mean, you have perfect in the timings because one Holy Spirit.
Yeah. So it's good to try and find a trend. I was reading this CCA when did you know? Are you on top of it?
I got to the seminar.
Yes, getting warm. Yeah, no, it's crazy today.
It's not getting the pressure you never do that, by the way.
What I did.
This is what I really like getting into that. There's Common thread. Yes. Can I get a coffee? I'll come serve Just send me an email and I'll send you the actual registry. Yes, which goes into
Okay, then I'm not done. That first my contest will the 10th of the 10 is in 2 weeks' time, and then I can start
psychic phenomena like Jewish sessions could get the experiences guys talking about
I don't recall you two. Was the one that I spoke
So I know these things.
Oh, the power of three.
Good morning, everybody, and especially Nandi. Nandi, the title, Management Effectiveness. We knew, from that title, we knew exactly what your topic was going to be about. And your topic was the highlight, but the thing is, you dressed the part, you backed up it with specific information, and the way that you spoke about management effectiveness was really very informative session. Just this was an icebreaker discussion, so we wanted to know a little bit more about you. We did learn about your daughter and living in KwaZulu-Natal. So we'd like the next speech that you do, just give us a little bit more information about yourself. Just as a club, we would like to know you, who you are. Just helps us develop a relationship with yourself, with us, with you. But wow, your speech, you came up here, you didn't have a lectern, you didn't have notes, you quoted, I want to say, Douglas Kruger, 3 facts. You even used hand gestures. and you were like talking through them. That was amazing. That's later on you only learn the specific skill set. So excellent job there. You even had this power pose. A lot of people, they normally have their hands and they're throwing them around. You had them held there very tight, and it showed that you have confidence within the room. You had eye contact, meeting everybody's eye. You did kind of wonder now and again just to think of where to go next, but can't comment on that. What I really liked was that you gave your description of effective management, and you liked that clause so much you actually repeated it. But we thanked you for it, because it was such a compressed amount of information that the listener had to listen to, that we wanted to take it down, and by you repeating it, we actually got that information again. So thank you for that. And your speech was short, like 30 seconds. I don't know if you left out something from your speech. If you just added within your conclusion, just highlighted your specific points of effective management, wrap that up, put it into the conclusion, I think you would have been able to actually finish off your speech with a bang, and we would have been leaving here with like, oh my goodness, this is how we're going to be moving forth to be better managers. But you dressed the part, you played the part by standing up here and doing an amazing speech. So thank you for that, and we can't wait to hear your next speech. Thank you.
The following speech was by Adrian Hand. Adrian has in fact completed on the old program, the competent communicator of 10 speeches, and is now going on to Pathways. Pathways always starts with an icebreaker, so that was why he was giving us an icebreaker. And evaluating Adrian's icebreaker is Judith Taylor. Judith will be delivering her evaluation from her seat. Please, Judith.
Thank you. Mr. Evaluations Chair, and especially Adrian, and fellow Toastmasters and guests. Adrian, I think you had your senior moment deliberately, so that you could look really scared this morning. You used great humour, and we could see your blue eyes sparkling with naughtiness. We found out a lot about your parents and how they had encouraged you to go into maths and science with the help of inspiring teachers. I wish I'd had a good maths teacher too. You really gave us good ideas. You gave us how to find out when we're going to die. Which is useful. And where to go and find it. You were really hanging on to that lectern as if you were shaking to death. But it added to the humour of the speech. Your humour was absolutely great. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to your next speeches.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judith. The third speech and final one to be evaluated this morning is Mandy Murray's CC8, and getting frantically dressed in wings to give her evaluation.
I've got to practice what I preach.
We have Lucinda Hall. Lucinda.
Good morning and thank you, Evaluation Chair. And this part that I can't stand when people say it, it is so cliche, and especially Mandy. I love it. Politically correct. I know I'm going to create something completely different when I do this. I don't know what I'm going to say. I was thinking about it last night. At 3 o'clock in the morning, how do I change this? And especially Mandy. I loved your opening question. Questions are so powerful when we start with a question. Because people go, oh, I'm here. I've arrived, I'm listening. When we go on and we don't command the stage, and we go on, we're kind of laughing and we go, people don't listen. Mandy gets up here and she commands. Authority, here I am. Confidence, breathes. She's dynamic. Guess what? She asked a question. So we were in with it straight from the beginning. I love that she linked the content. The content affects everybody in this room. Well, maybe not the millennials, Dig, but for us beyond the millennials, this affects us every day. A lot of us. And I love the multitasking. I've got to hand it, because me and a mouse, if I had a mobile mouse and present, I don't know. I fail at this one quite a lot. So that to me, I give you credit on, because you moved those slides, you didn't falter. You carried on through, even though you had this thing in your hand that was blue and shining, that got my attention a couple of times. And you kept up, all the way through. You kept flowing and you kept up. Something to suggest in the speech, do practice with a mobile mouse pointer, MMP. You know, we love it in Toastmasters, these acronyms. So it just, because what happened is it limited your hand movements. I missed your hand movements today. A lot of it hung around here, where normally I'm used to seeing it, using it more vastly and expanding on it. You were a little bit trapped with it because of this little mouse in your hand here. I would suggest maybe less content and information, even though it was phenomenally great. It was incredibly informative for everybody here. I can think everyone will agree with that. But it just felt like too much. I was trying to write and keep going, and I was backing and thinking, damn, I want that information. I want it to come back. And then your pace became so fast to try and fit in all this information into that speech. And I had got exactly this crit on Thursday. Keep to 3. Stop going so far. You want to tell everybody everything, but you can't. Just keep it to 3 as a Toastmaster speech. So maybe that will help with that. And at times, just take a bit of a pause so we can assimilate. Just let it drift in. And yeah, and that's what I said. Maybe just 3 hacks and expand on each of those 3 hacks. You know what? You've got a great stage presence. What can I say? Confidence exudes it. You know, you own the stage. And you met the criteria of the speech completely using a visual aid. Well done on your CC9 or CC8. Look forward to CC10, your momentous speech.
Thank you, Lucinda. And we thank Tanya also for her speech, which will not be evaluated in public. Lucinda and I have given her private feedback, and it's very much positive. Thank you very much for that speech as well. You've now heard the evaluators, and you should have another little slip of paper somewhere near you for you now to do your own evaluation and vote for the best evaluator of the day. Please put one name on that piece of paper, either Dino Ladini, Judith Taylor, or Lucinda Palmer. Our Sergeant Lance will collect the papers, and in the meanwhile, I will ask our grammarian and our counter, so you get double time, to do, Tanya, to do from your seat, your evaluation as grammarian and our counter. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. I knew I was up next and I was panicking about the word of the day. So my comments I wrote down is, Rick, you normally squeeze one in every time. Where were you today? And then Lucinda came to the rescue. So we had one word of the day. Rick, come on. You should have in for me. You always do.
He's got time still.
Yeah, there you go, maybe. So that's from the word of the day. And then in terms of English language that caught my attention that I wanted to call out, Nandi, every day life is a blessing. And I think the word blessing absolutely resonated with what you're trying to put across there. You mentioned that he sharpened his public speaking skills. And I also love the crispness of the sharpened. Dino, you made mention of this as well. Effective management definition. Repeating that twice was absolutely brilliant. And I wouldn't mind if you SMS it to the group later. It was really, really good. And then when you were ending off your speech, you asked us, what are you entrusted with? And I think it was a deep resonating of being entrusted with the job and the responsibility of effective management. So I love the entrusted with. Adrian, you had the whole audience in giggles, and it was a wonderful moment when you stood up there and you said, I will think of something. That was worth noting. And then Mandy, I always love takeaways. And you had a kind of takeaway slogan-y thing that for me worked very well, and it was the trained and the untrained mind. You said it a few times, but I can almost take that entire speech of yours and wrap it up into that one sentence, which I personally always enjoy that. And Tanya, the power of yes, it makes that little word, 3 little letters, suddenly so big. The power of yes, a full yes. I love that. So thank you very much. Now as aha counter, Adrian, you surprised me. And I don't know if it's because you didn't have your notes, but I've never heard you use the word and the whole time. And if I was writing your speech, I don't think there was one full stop. Everything was just connected with and. And after about the 8th and, I just forgot about it. I just circled on with ands, lots of ands. Mandy, very impressive. On your first speech, an icebreaker, I did not pick up one one R, one like, one and, none of that. And on your first speech, that is incredibly impressive. And as a team, Tanya as well, you had none, but you were like a pro speaker. But you did have none of those as well, which is really good. As a team, the and R thing, we racked up a total of 22 this morning. Ooh. Thank you.
And our final assistant for the evaluations, Snanzi, with our timekeeping.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Evaluation Chair. The evaluators had 2 to 3 minutes for the evaluation. And starting off with Dina, it took 3 minutes, 17 seconds. Judith, 1 minute, 17 seconds. And Lucinda, 3 minutes, 14 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Timekeeper. Again, for the benefit of our guests and those who are here frequently may have got so used to it that they don't notice they're doing it, but you will notice that we tend to applaud people. For many people standing in front of a group with all those eyes on you and speaking to them is the scariest event of their lives, and therefore we want to give them every possible encouragement by, for example, applauding. The other little ritual that we have, you might have noticed, is that we don't leave the stage unoccupied. I hand over to the evaluator hands back to me. If the evaluator is doing it from somewhere else, then I stay here so that the stage is occupied. And so for the next person to occupy the stage, I'm going to ask Harold Robinson, our club president, to join me to continue the program. Harold.
Great pleasure to recognize individuals during the year have contributed to the club and basically kept the club going, kept the standards up. The recognition is for good performance, but it's also for regular performance. So people whose names that you hear are people that have been here regularly, seldom miss meetings, always active in meetings, and often take multiple roles in meetings. In this club we recognize 5 awards. We recognize the person who has been the most active role player in the club. So that means having been at meetings and had the most roles. We recognize the person who has excelled at table topics. Again, done table topics many times and also been recognized for the table topics and competed as well. We recognize best evaluator, the person who's done evaluations regularly, has been recognized for the evaluations and has been in evaluation contests as well. We recognize the best speaker, a person who has spoken regularly, has been recognized for their speeches, has got Toastmasters recognition with the Achievement Awards, and has been in contest as well. And then we have Toastmaster of the Year, which is a combination of all of those together. So Toastmaster of the Year is someone who has really been very active in the club throughout the year. The way that we get the information together, we have a meeting book where we record what's happening during the meeting. Normally one member of the club fills that out, and then that is held for every meeting. We go through all of those and we record what every person has done during the meetings. We actually put it on a spreadsheet, and then we put a certain weight to certain roles. If you want more information on that, very welcome to ask me, because I did distribute it to the club a few times in the last few years. But if you want it again, you're very welcome to it. The first award I have is for the Impromptu Speaker of the Year. And impromptu speaking, as we know, is one of the scary parts of Toastmasters, but also one of the fun parts. And unfortunately we didn't have it today because we thought that with the awards and with the installation that we would run out of time. But it is one that it is a part of the meeting that people look forward to. And it is a brave step to actually participate in the Impromptu Awards. Some of the people who have done table topics regularly during the year, that you could almost say were good front runners for the award, were Johan, Mandy, Adrian and Tambu. And I'm very happy to announce that the winner is Tambu. We have a voucher for each of the winners today. Second award I have is for the best role player of the year. Regular meeting attendance, and when you go through the meeting book, it's quite amazing. It's about 20% of the club who give 80% of the attendance to the meetings. So there are a few people who attend regularly and who do multiple roles, talk, do meeting role plays, and there's more weight given to roles like Toastmaster, Evaluation Chair and Table Topics than to the other roles. Some of the front runners were Adrian, Tambu, Harold, Mandy, and our winner for this prize is, please, Mandy.
Hyde Park, here we come.
Our third award is for Best Evaluator. And I said some words about evaluations earlier. It's a very important part of Toastmasters. And the way that you do the evaluation is important as well. I found when I joined Toastmasters, and I still find it, giving a speech is one thing, but giving an evaluation of someone else's speech is as scary, if not more scary. So people who do evaluations regularly are ones who have really put their hands up. We looked at evaluations, who was in the contest, and these little votes that we have, we look at those as well. That also counts towards the Best Evaluator. The contenders for this were Tambu, Mandy, Tanya, and moi. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Tambu.
This one is for Santon City.
Our fourth award is for the Best Speaker of the Year, and this one was very close. And you won't believe it, when I applied the criteria exactly as we've said, it was like 2 points difference between the fourth and the first person. We took into account contestants in our contest, we took into account Best Speaker, we took into account awards from which goes towards the Distinguished Club, and contenders were what? Tambu, Adrian and Mandy. And our winner is Adrian. Oh, sorry, photograph. Just so excited.
Thank you.
Showing us that over the age of 70 there's still awards to be done. Our last, before I do that, every meeting we've had has been very well organized, and it's allowed a platform for these people to achieve. But before I do Toastmaster of the Year, I'd just like to give recognition to our VPE for the last year. He's really organized our meetings very well. With a little gift, then come up and give a little gift to the Of course, now that I'm not president anymore, I don't mind telling this club wouldn't have run without them. Our Toastmaster of the Year is a combination of all the activities over the whole year. It's our rounded Toastmaster, and it is someone that you will have seen regularly up here, busy with people on the committee, and the contenders were Mandy, Adrian, and Tambu. And our Toastmaster of the Year, ladies and gentlemen, Tambu.
I'm coming with you shopping, eh? Three.
Disappearing straight after this.
I'm
And the president's only got a couple of minutes left. Give him the Scott.
Are you all finished?
No, not yet.
Adrian and Tambu were supposed to be part of the committee to decide on the awards. And earlier in the week she said to me, when are we going to do these awards? And I had to bluff my way out. Not very convincingly, I don't think, because she left the subject after that. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to our winner, and thank you to our winners for showing us how Toastmasters should be and for setting the example for the rest of us. Congratulations to you all. Let's give them another round. It's my pleasure to hand back to our Toastmaster today, Monica.
Congratulations to our winners. Your commitment has paid off. There was a lot of information to assimilate. And to our visitors, we have seen that we train people to speak and we train people to tell you how you spoke. Commitment is important because it sharpens, it shapes our life. To achieve greatness to areas that is important requires deep commitment. And there are 4 factors that predict commitment. The first factor is treasure. What are your benefits to this commitment? What does it mean? What do you value? And the second factor is trouble. How challenging is it? How difficult is it? Troubles vary. Some troubles are not as difficult as I made today, agreeing to being a Toastmaster. Some are difficult, such as, should I marry him or no? Some troubles are significant in such a way that you end up stuck and decide to quit. The third factor is contribution. We contribute our time, our talent and money. Sometimes we give up our delicious food. Contribution drives commitment. And the fourth factor is choice. Choices are often not good because instead of commitment, we look for options. Dr. Heidi Reeder has these 4 factors in a minus treasure, minus travel, plus contributions, minus choices, equals to commitment. Didn't I promise you that we're going to have a fun and exciting meeting?
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure to be a Toastmaster this morning. I now hand over the control of the meeting to our brand new president, Lynn Logie. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our brand new, fresh, beautiful president.
I don't know about you, but it's been a very groovy meeting, but it's action-packed. Congratulations on filling Toastmaster role for the first time, so excellent. We have some more awards still, but not the wonderful annual ones, and again, congrats, Tammy, Mandy and Adrian, for your excellence and leading by example and inspiring all of us. Thank you. Our best evaluator. May I have a drum roll? Lucinda.
The first photo with the new president of this club. Wait.
First edition. Facebook.
I thought all four were fabulous, and I took longer than normal, I don't know about you, to make a decision on the speaker choice today. Drum roll, please. Mandy. Hugging's good first. I wasn't going to do Big Mug just because there's so many other things going on today, but actually there's someone that just made it easy. I won't even mention the others. So he started early on in the proceedings by suggesting that Harold had apologised for not being able to attend today, which is not the case. And he left his notes at home and somehow still managed to receive the Best Speaker of the Year award. So big mug is Adrian. That's a fun award. Oh, you definitely will. Let's leave the mug behind, thank you.
No,
Not
just
for beer
look at it
tonight.
for a while.
Don't forget, eh?
Oh.
Just three dogs. Eh?
Okay.
So, before we move on to our VPE, on a point, I would just like to say one thing, and then please, anybody to share anything, including our visiting members and guests, any observations,
key learnings, things you just feel inclined to share about your experience this morning, please do. If I may just share an important note, is our first meeting of the new year is on Saturday, July the 13th. And like most of our meetings, it has its own variety in that the Area H annual awards will be hosted within our program. So we will have so we will have at least double the amount of people you see here today. Yeah. Anybody like to say anything on a point or share anything with us? Please do. Adrian.
Just a point in terms of, can you put your hands up and have breakfast? I need to get my money sorted out. Can somebody count for me?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I think
20.
Okay, that makes sense.
Harold.
meeting on the 27th, that's 2 meetings time. Won't be happening here because the sports club have got annual competition, national competition. So there won't be space here. But Adrian's kindly organised a venue at the Douglasdale Retirement Home.
Ooh, in the bar area.
Yes!
Yay!
So we will send, I'm sure our new VPE will send out the notice regarding that, and you can get the details from Adrian. I now absolve any responsibility.
Okay.
Thank you, Harold. Any visitors? Guests?
I just want to say thank you, Harold. You know, as a president, you're a man of ethics and principles, and why you're on the panel for me at my club, and a man that leads by example. And to the incoming president as well, well done. And to the committee coming through, go shine, go win some awards this next year, go get into divisions and districts. I'd love to see this club get to that level. Well done to all of you. This is a huge responsibility, and now it's time to serve and give back to Toastmasters.
I just want to say I enjoyed the meeting, and I hope to come again to do a speech. I was hoping to do a speech. It would be nice to do a speech here. And also, it's quite interesting to see that we also had similarities in terms of membership, because we also lost quite a lot of members. So it's interesting to also note that your club also experienced the same, but I heard that it's more like it's a problem for most clubs because of work commitments and the economic situation. So I found it quite interesting to know. But I enjoyed the meeting. It's a very good quality meeting, and hope to come again. Thanks.
Right, I'll say a few more things at the close, but I'd like to invite our new VPE, Mandy Up, who'd like to share and explore an idea with us. Thanks. Morning, everyone. Morning. Again. I would like to explore a concept that I've seen at a couple of clubs, and this is for us to try and fulfill the roles for our next meeting. As you know, this position is not payable. I don't get paid to stand here. It's something I'm giving of my time to the committee. I do have a life outside of Toastmasters. I'm very committed to be doing roles and evaluation speeches. I'm a single mother. I work. So it will help me for us to have some of our members raise their hands to help me fulfill those positions for the next meeting, to make my journey a little bit easier in the next 2 weeks. So members, I am looking for speakers at our next meeting, please. Right, so I've got Mandy, I've got Anae, I've got Adrian, and I have Zekho. Please spell it for me. T-S-H-T-S-A-G-O. Thank you very much. I'm now looking for a Toastmaster, please. As you can see, you get lots of money to spend when we start fulfilling these roles.
Toastmaster role, ask Annika, she's done it for the first time, nice and easy. Toastmaster. Liv, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I saw a hand. Were you trying to say something else?
No?
Great. Lynn,
Thanks.
I'm looking for timekeeper, please. Timekeeper, new role. Tambu, thank you. R, counter. Somebody who wants to enhance their listening skills, R counter. Okay. Oh, you might not be here. Not yet. Mandy, thank you. Grammarian role. Those should be incorporated in one. Hey, can I?
That's reasonable.
Mr. President, may I incorporate the grammarian and the art counter in one role? For the next meeting?
I mean, unless someone else would like to put their hand up. Thank you, Rick.
Our new Sergeant at Arms.
Hello.
Would you like a meeting Sergeant at Arms, or are you going to be a Sergeant at Arms for the next meeting?
I can be Sergeant at Arms.
So you're going to fulfill that role? And we're not doing table topics because of our extended program, but I am looking for some evaluators, please, unless we're going to mix our evaluator. Tanya, thank you. Stanzi, Harold, hands haven't gone up. Evaluators, please.
We are just sitting here quietly.
Yeah, I see so.
Yeah.
Breakfast is not free.
If you really want to put us up,
Harold, can I put you down for evaluation?
You can do what all the VPEs do, where there's a slot, you just put it in.
That's what I was just saying, that we've got our hands down, but if you really need us to, you can put our
I
hands
saw a little finger rise. Thank you, Stancy. I appreciate that. I'm now going out to our guests from other clubs. I would like to try every meeting to have an external evaluation chair. Can I please have a hand outside our club, an external? Thank you, Lucinda. I appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody. And I will be contacting you throughout the next 2 weeks.
Yes. Oh, yes, thank you. Thanks, Linda. When we close, if all the members of the committee could please, before you do anything else, please just come to the front so we can have a photograph, and then you can chat to anybody you need to still chat to. Thanks. Thank you to our speakers, our evaluators, our role players, our guests, our visiting members. Bettina, lovely to see you in particular.
I had my hand up just now, but I don't think it's going.
I'm sorry. We'd love to hear what you want to say.
On the point.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you so much. It was such a wonderful morning, and I've realised that I just miss this place so much on a Saturday morning. It really is an opportunity to get a different perspective, listening to the speeches, and the evaluators were just awesome. It's so great to hear encouragement, because it is nerve-wracking when you stand up and speak and present a speech. So thank you so much to all the members and committee for such a lovely meet. Thank you. And welcome. Congratulations.
The last thing to say, I have really enjoyed a theme as much as I have embracing agility. I've learned untold amounts of things through that, and not only through the theme, but through the man who suggested. Harold, thank you. I look forward to presenting the new theme, which the committee in the next couple of weeks will agree upon, and will be as effective and useful as embracing agility. And with that, I call the meeting to a close.